So, talk to me about some folks that, or some players specifically, if you can, just off the top of your head, that folks need to pay attention to in those later rounds, even mid to later rounds, like maybe past round 6 and beyond. Folks that maybe are getting slept on. We talked about Chris Paul a little bit,
Hmm.
and you could rehash some of the guys definitely. Everyone out there, get your pen and paper and write these names down.
First one, I would say Jalen Green. People are going to be off on him because he was not an efficient player last year. But guess what? He improved in mostly every statistical category outside of field goal percentage. But I think that's going to come up. He's got a new coach in Ime Udoka that's a proven winner. Took the Boston Celtics to the championship. And they brought in Fred VanVleet, who's a guy that I think is going to only raise the floor for the Houston Rockets. They have a lot of talent on that team. And I think he's going to make that next step and shoot at least 46% from the field. Call it 45% from the field. But I think you'll also see that increase in points, rebounds, and assists to the point where I think he's going to be, a top 70 player this year. Should have been last year, but I just don't think that whole situation with Steven Silas was clicking. Now that they have a real coach in the building that can listen and rally the troops, like I think this is going to be the best version we're going to see of Jalen Green. The next player I would say that you're going to probably be able to get in round 7 or later would probably be Trey Murphy. And I think people are going to be put off by Trey Murphy because Zion Williamson's coming back, Brandon Ingram's healthy, playing with Team USA. But one thing that we saw out of Trey Murphy last year was he was like Mikal Bridges light. This dude can knock down the three. He plays defense. He shoots at a high clip. He can get you steals. He is like the poor man's Mikal Bridges, even though he's 3 inches taller. But I had a chance to talk to him at Summer League, and I was like, yo, Trey, like, what do you think you could work on in this season? You were 47th in fantasy basketball last year. He had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, I didn't know what 40 or what? I guess that's good. But if I had to tell you something, it's going to be getting to the line more. I want to draw more fouls. And I'm like, great, you're already a phenomenal free throw shooter. I could use that volume on the free throw line. So I'm going to expect to see a more aggressive Trey Murphy, despite having to potentially compete for minutes with other people. I think he's going to start over Herb Jones now. I think this guy's going to be also posturing for a really good fantasy season. Kind of later. Let's see. Jonathan Kuminga is another guy I got my eye on, man. I think that the Warriors made certain maneuvers to get rid of players that they felt like were not going to help them win another championship. They decided to hold on to Jonathan Kuminga. I think he's going to be slotted to play a lot more minutes and seen a lot of maturity and growth in him in just the offseason. I try not to put too much weight into these offseason workouts. I mean, Ben Simmons is like the summer, you know what I'm saying, yoked up. He's like the summer like superstar, man. But I like what I've seen out of Jonathan Kuminga thus far. His jumper looks a little bit smoother. He's been working on his ball handling, and it's really just the IQ for him. He's got to buy in, and I think Steve Kerr said that a lot towards the playoffs last year, or at the end of the playoffs at the conclusion of the season, because he was salty he wasn't getting any minutes. So I think that maturity was huge, and now that he's got a couple people out of the way now, I think this is going to be a good season for Kuminga, especially with Draymond Green getting a little bit older, and now they're going to have to rely on some of those youth younger players a little bit more. Derek White, I think, is another guy that you can probably get as a mid-round pick that I think is going to, and shout out to Noah Rubin. I think he was the first guy of NBC Sports to really be on the Derek White hype train, at least this season. But now that Marcus Smart's out of the way, this guy's a perfect fantasy player. You're talking about well-roundedness. He's among the best in the league at block shots at the guard position. He gets you the assists. He can shoot off the dribble. He's great at spot up, so he'll give you 3-pointers. He plays very well off and complements Jason Tatum very well. They have very good chemistry. So I'm expecting him to move up to around, anywhere between 5.5 to 6 assists this year. Still have the points. He'll get you some sneaky boards as well. Just an exceptional player that plays on both ends of the floor. So I think he's a guard that people are going to probably overlook just because he doesn't look, I don't know, the part. At least he shaved his head. He's not rocking that Sherman Helmsley anymore. Thank God.
We're moving on up to the east side. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but he's a hooper though, so I appreciate it, and I think he's going to be another solid mid-round pick that you'd be surprised at the value you're going to get for where he's going in drafts.
Very dope. That's good. You gave them a lot. That was a bunch.
Yeah, that I would definitely went into that
You
one.
went in on that one.
And I'm sure I'll have plenty more. Make sure you read my articles as they're dropping on Yahoo. I'll try to give out all my knowledge, at least enough that y'all will be able to get to the playoffs and potentially take home your title.